Hi, I'm Brian St. John with Legend Cycle, and today we're going to install one of our oil filter kits. This kit is designed for a 1963 to 1970 Triumph 650 and a 1959 to 1974 Triumph 500 and 350. When you open your kit, you'll see it contains the instructions, oil hoses, filter, the aluminum housing mount, and the hardware. The hardware will vary depending on which model of motorcycle you're putting it on. The kit should contain everything you need. The models from 1968 to 1970 have an easily removable side panel, so the oil filter kit can be installed underneath the battery tray. And before 1968, the panel isn't as easily removable, so it's best to install it below the swing arm. First, what we need to do is put a drain filter and remove the return line from the engine to the tank on the engine side. The forward hose is the feed to the engine, and the rear hose is the return to the oil tank. So we remove the hose from the rear. Let it drain into the pan. And disconnect the return line from the tank. Make sure you save your clamps to reuse. So far, what we've done is remove the oil return hose from the tank and the engine. You remove the outside hose on the engine side. Next, we need to install the filter adapter. Just a little bit of Loctite, red or blue. Screw it in here. Take something like a little Allen wrench, and just tighten it down there. And then we'll be using these two holes for the fittings, so we need to plug these two holes. It comes with holes on both sides, so you can run the hoses either way. A little Loctite on there. These are tapered pipe threads, so don't tighten them too much or it could possibly crack the aluminum housing. And then the 90-degree fittings swivel, so They'll point in any direction you want once you have them installed. Put a little Loctite on there. The kit comes with 3 barbed fittings, 2 90-degree swivel fittings, and 1 straight brass fitting. On the 68 to 70 models, you'll use 2 90-degree fittings, and on the 67 and earlier, you'll need to use a straight fitting in the return going from the fitting, the oil filter, to the oil tank. I recommend using Loctite on the fittings rather than Teflon tape, just so pieces of Teflon don't get released into your oil system. When installing the kit below the swing arm on the early 650 models, there's a grease zerk to grease the swing arm pivot, which will need to be removed and replaced with a 90-degree grease zerk, because once this filter housing is installed, you won't be able to get to the straight grease zerk. You can reuse the fiber washer if it's in good condition. Now we have all the fittings and plugs and adapter installed in the filter housing. I'll need to show you how this goes on the bike. It's a little hard to film, so this will mount underneath the swing arm, and this will clamp on the rear down tube of the frame. So this will be the forward part of the filter assembly. I found that for the installation of these, the ball type Allen wrench with the swivel works better to get the screws started underneath the bike. When you're installing the oil filter kit underneath the swing arm, you'll want to make sure that you have the bike on the center stand or lift it up so that the swing arm is all the way down and the shocks are completely extended, so that there's no interference with the swing arm later on. And make sure when you tighten this housing down that you leave enough room above it to get the grease zerk, the grease gun, onto the grease zerk. Okay, we have the filter housing installed and tightened down. We double checked that there was room for the grease zerk and that there's no interference with anything. And now it's time to install the hoses. You want to make sure that you install the hoses correctly. So the instructions: in from the engine, out to the tank. The hose comes with 2 19-inch lengths of hose, so you can trim to whatever length you need. Hose on the engine side. Okay, that's tightened up. The hoses are secure. The housing is secure. The hoses are installed. Next, we need to install the filter. We'll fill the filter with oil because it'll take a while for this pump to fill the filter. And while it's filling the filter, there's no oil getting to the rocker arms. Put a little oil on the O-ring. Voila, it's installed. The oil filter kit is now completely installed. The last step would be to start the bike and check for leaks and make sure the oil is returning to the oil tank as it should be. It's a cold, snowy day here today, so we're not going to do that. But if you have any problems with the kit or any problems, need any more information, the kit also includes my business card, and you can call me, go to the website, text me, anything.